Hey TJ, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We'll get started soon, okay? Just hang tight.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Good evening. It is now 6:05, and I'm calling order to the April 17th Redevelopment Commission meeting. If staff would please take roll call.
Chair Kendall?
Here.
Vice Chair Updike?
Here.
Commissioner Baugh? Here. Commissioner Bigelow?
Here.
Commissioner Clausen?
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Right. At this time, members of the public may comment on matters not on the agenda. The Commission's response is limited to responding to criticism, asking staff to review a matter commented upon, or asking a matter be put on a future agenda. Are there any communications from citizens?
Mr. Chairman, we have no communications from citizens at this time.
Thank you, Amanda. We now move into administrative items. Consider approval of minutes for the regular meeting held on February 21st, 2024. Are there any edits the commission wishes to make?
No.
All right. Hearing none, I will ask for a motion and a second.
Motion to approve the minutes.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. If the commissioners would please vote.
Commissioner Clausen, if you could state your vote.
Approve the minutes. Thank you.
All right, the motion passes. Thank you. We'll now start the public hearing. Items will be heard at one public hearing, at which time anyone wishing to comment on a public hearing item may do so. Comments will be heard from those in support or in opposition to an item. In order to comment on a public hearing item, you must fill out a public comment form indicating the item number on which you wish to be heard. Once the hearing is closed, there'll be no more further public comment unless requested by a member of the commission. After the public hearing, the commission may act on all items not requiring additional staff, public, or commission comment with a single vote. I'll now open the public hearing for DR 24-02 Bowling Restaurant Concept. Kristen, would you please proceed with the bowling concept presentation?
Right. Good evening, Commission. The case I have for you tonight is for a restaurant and bowling concept located downtown. The applicant is proposing a duckpin bowling, arcade, and restaurant concept. The site is located at the southeast corner of Gilbert Road and Hearn Way, highlighted here in green. Right, and the site is approximately 0.33 acres. It is zoned Heritage Village Center. An existing building currently does exist on site and will be incorporated into the development of the new building. The proposed development will have 0-foot setbacks on both Gilbert Road and Hearn Way, providing an active street presence. There are also canopies proposed along Gilbert Road and Hearn Way that will encroach over the sidewalk, providing shade for pedestrians. These canopies will require an encroachment permit that will be applied for after the design review is approved or moves forward. The development will also have opportunities for exterior integration with the Oso Park located east of the parcel. Primary pedestrian access will be taken from the main entrance at the northwest corner of the site, but there will also be an exterior entrance located east of the building off of Hearn Way between the new development and the Oso Park. A 5-foot easement runs along the southern property, with half of it being located on this site and half of it being located on the adjacent site to the south. The area will not be accessible to the public and will be gated with a steel picket fence. Landscaping for the site is minimal. The applicant is proposing windowsill planter boxes with annual flowers and also a variety of potted plants, including totem pole cactus, slipper plants, and aromophila. The totem pole cactus is not part of the approved Heritage District design guidelines and will require your approval tonight to be utilized. The totem pole cactus will be placed at the entry to the building. 2 new red push pistache street trees are also proposed along Gilbert Road. Right, and the applicant is proposing a 1-story, 30-foot building that is designed to look like it has a 2-story massing. The elevations along Gilbert Road and Hearn Way will include roll-up garage doors, providing a lively and interactive pedestrian experience for people that are passing by. The building will be 6,600 square feet and include 2 uses. Approximately 3,800 square feet will be classified as a full-service restaurant, and the remaining approximately 2,800 square feet will be considered indoor entertainment and include duckpin bowling and also an arcade area. There are a variety of colors and materials being used, including brick veneer, EIFS, and precast concrete. The building will also incorporate aluminum accent screens, metal canopies, and roll-up garage-style windows. Below the windows, you'll also find those planter boxes with the annual flowers to bring a bit of color to the street side elevations. Oh, and then along that eastern elevation, you'll also find a secondary entrance as well as a pickup style window, encouraging crossover for users between Oso Park and this new concept. And then seen here are some additional renderings of the project, including a night view. Although signage is included in these renderings, it is not part of the review this evening and will require approval of a heritage sign plan in the future. The bowling pin seen in the images at the entry feature is considered signage, but since the site is located on the corner of 2 arterial roadways, it is eligible for double the frontage, so it gets double the allowable signage that would typically be allowed. Right, and then seen here is a closer look at the colors and materials. And this is the floor plan showing the bowling lanes located off of Gilbert Road, the arcade off of Hearn Way, and then a handful of booths and a bar area. And with that, staff recommends approval of DR 2402, and I am available for any questions that you have.
Thank you, Kristen. Commissioners, are there any questions for staff?
Yes.
Commissioner Bott?
Yes. Where else do we have the totem pole cactus in the Heritage District?
So Chair Kendall, Commissioner Baugh, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I know the handful of projects that we've brought to you recently have not included it.
Okay.
Topo might have snuck one in, maybe.
What's that?
Topo might have snuck one in. They got a few cactuses around there. I'm not sure about that, though.
Do you know the why behind that choice?
I do not, but the applicant is here and they may be able to answer that.
Okay. Well, we'll wait for the presentation.
Oh, they don't have a full presentation, but they're available for questions.
Okay. Let's see what other questions you might have. On the east side of the building, between Oso Park and the eastern edge of the building, is I don't think it is, but I just need to confirm. Is that a public entrance on the east side, right by the bicycle racks, or is that an employee entrance?
Into the building?
Yeah, if you can see, right along the east edge, you see where you have on-site bicycle parking and a canopy above that, and then just directly north of that, you have
Towards the middle of the
the
frontage.
like a doorway passage. I think it's labeled entrance. My question is if that is public entrance, employee entrance.
It is a public entrance.
Okay. Is the intention to direct the user to I assume the primary entrance off of Gilbert Road, but the secondary in case someone's passing from the Oso Park over?
I think I'm going to let Rob answer that one so they can give their view of what they're anticipating,
Okay.
if that's okay with
Yeah,
you
that's
all.
fine. And I think those are the only 2 questions I was interested, but maybe we defer this to the rest of our committee to see if they have other questions for the applicant.
Commissioner Updike? Commissioner Clausen, do you have any questions?
I think my only question is related to the aluminum that is being used on the side of the building. Is there any more examples of the aluminum that you could give other than, because it looks like the aluminum accent screen C2 as identified on the elevation, it almost appears to have like a concrete look in the example that's given. Is that a clear aluminum finish? I'm assuming, yeah, clear anodized finish. Sorry, I read my own question here. But I'm assuming that looks similar to the storefront. Is that fair? The storefront edging that's being used, it's going to match that.
So the edging here behind the bowling pin? Is that what you're referencing?
Yeah, because that's a clear anodized finished on the storefront as well. And then the aluminum accent screens I called out as clear anodized finish as well. So it's going to be a very similar look and feel, just with a different design. Is that a fair statement?
I would agree with you, but I'm going to also let my applicant elaborate on that one as well. I apologize. You guys are throwing hardballs at me today. Shall
we-
I
I
bring
think-
him up?
Yeah, all I've got. Just I've got a question about that
Okay.
finish.
I do have a few questions as well. Kristen, is the bowling pin part of signage?
Sure, Chair Kendall, it is. It will be considered signage. It is going to be considered a projecting sign. So we will take the face of it. So although it's a 3D object, we'll take the square footage of the face of it.
Okay. And then on top of the additional 2 bowling signs that will be
Correct.
on the corners of the building, okay.
Yep, and I did a rough estimate after our pre-meeting, and I want to say the frontage was approximately 90 feet, if I recall correctly. It's been a while, and I apologize, I didn't write it down. So double that frontage would be 180 square feet of allowable signage for their building. Approximately.
Was the gopher that's in front of Joe's topo, is that considered signage or art?
So that one is art because it is not advertising the business that Topo is. Topo sells food, not gophers.
Not gopher burritos, okay.
Yeah, so because this business does have bowling as an element of their functionality, it's considered signage.
Got it, understood. I noticed that in the plans, there's a DJ booth that seems to be towards the front of the entrance. Have we done any type of like sound testing on that? I know that we've talked about that in other projects. Has that been addressed at all?
It has not, because the majority of this building is enclosed. They do have the roll-up garage door features, but it hasn't been an element that's come up.
Okay. And then the mural on the side of the building, has that already been selected? It looks pretty general here. In fact, there looks like there's 2 different murals. Do we know what that's going to be as it faces the gelato shop? That's where I assume it is.
Sure, so Chair Kendall, I don't believe so as far as I'm aware. I don't know if maybe the applicant does have further information, but as far as my knowledge, I don't believe the mural's been picked out. And it does face the adjacent property to the south, as well as the cactus on the bottom left faces the east, so towards the Oso Park.
Is there also a to-go window?
Yes,
Okay,
on the east.
perfect. I don't have any additional questions. Does any other commissioners have any questions for staff? Would the applicant like to speak at this time?
Mr. Chairman, if it's helpful, I took notes on the questions. So Rob, if at any point you need me to go back to them, I can.
All right. My name is Robert Barbario, 61st Place Architects, representing Brian Rorich, owner of Oso, and we'll be opening up this nice bowling alley here. To go through the couple of comments we had, first, the cactus, it was something that I actually thought that we had changed, and I thought we had changed it on our submittal plans. Doesn't need to be there. We'll match whatever you guys want to put in. There's nothing special. We were trying to get something vertical to have a little bit of height. So whatever is on the approved list, we'll change it to match that. I believe the second thing that came up was the entryway between the current building and the park. And the idea is to create, a family-friendly environment where all the people in the park with the kids can go through to the bowling alley and vice versa. It's not the main entryway. We're definitely going to be driving people from the corner, but we want to have it so that we can go between both. And it also acts as one of the 3 exits for emergency to kind of come out and then up towards Hernway. The next one was the aluminum screen over the window, over the garage doors. So yes, it did start as a masonry block. And when we got looking at it, we said, that is a lot of places that birds can make nests. So we decided to do a glass window box that will be interior lit. As you can see in the night rendering, we have backlighting in that. And then the face of it, it'll either be an aluminum screen in that same design that will match the storefront, clear anodized, or it will be something that is laminated within the glass. So we're kind of not 100% either way, but I'm thinking we're leaning towards the aluminum screen in front of it, but it will all match the same storefront material. Mural. The murals on Oso, one of the most photographed mural in Gilbert, the murals here will be done by the same person that did that. There's nothing officially designed yet, but we have some good plans. Did I miss anything else? All right.
Some comments about that.
Sure.
I don't have a problem at all with the secondary entrance. I think it's totally fine. I guess the reason why I was asking the question is if we think the public might be using it, I want to make sure it's intentional and designed in a manner that attracts the public to come through there.
Yeah.
As opposed to if it was like an employee door, I care less.
Yeah.
So I don't really need to tell you how, but as long as there is an intentional way to make it inviting to pedestrians, so there's a clear connection between the Oso Park to here, I'm all for it. I just didn't want it to be like an afterthought, unless it was employee only.
No, it's going to be, I mean, it's a little bit difficult to see because of the lighting and the rendering, but they are glass doors. And then we have a canopy over the top with lighting down, and then the landscaping on the side to kind of bring people over there. And then as it reacts with the park, we have an entry right next to it to the park, and then there's a gap between the container modules, which really will direct people. You can see the gap right there between the entry module and restroom module to kind of drive people straight through there. So yes, it has been thought about, and we do. It's part of this thing to get all of these spaces to act together.
Great.
So.
I love how they activate that way. I also don't have a problem with the totem pole cactus.
Okay.
I've seen them. They look attractive. I love the verticality of it, particularly the way it breaks up like a wall. I guess my only question is if we've seen that in other places of the district. And frankly, I know when we kind of design a plant palette, and it gets adopted, it's really to steer people towards a quality type of product of planting scheme. But I don't think it's really meant to be entirely exclusive. If there's another type of planting that can be equally as attractive and kind of carry the higher sense of design. So in my mind, I'm okay with it. It was more a level of curiosity if we've seen that in other places of the district.
The more you actually bring it up, possible that the Clements approval we did back in January may have included totem pole cactus. They included quite a variety of different cacti and kind of plants of that nature. I just don't recall if that specific one was on the plant list.
Yeah. I know sometimes totem pole cactus are susceptible to splitting on heat. I think you're going to have them on the west side of the building by the entrance. Is it?
It's yeah. There's a few on that side. They're underneath a canopy. So we can look at that and see if there's.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
But it is your western elevation where your greatest intensity at its greatest point of the day. So You guys can make the decision often you may need to replace them, but
Our goal, like I said, was to get some height in there. We didn't want a low-growing bush. We wanted something that went up the wall, and there's not a lot of, well, there's no site on the site. So when we had to put landscaping in, we're very limited. So we were stuck to planters, and with that, you know, to get that verticality is kind of what we're trying to do.
along that wall, is there glass right behind those planters?
No,
Okay.
but behind the windowsill planters there
Yeah,
are.
so
Yes.
that's the only thing I think through as you take on that western sun reflection off of that, and then the planters are, it looks to me like our
The
planters.
totem poles are not in that area, though. There's 3 little planters on the side next to underneath the bowling pin, and that's the only place those totem poles are in.
No, yeah, I see that. I'm sort of moving on to another comment,
Oh.
whereas where you have your planters along your edge of your west side building.
Yeah.
As they take heat from the west, they take glare from the building. I think you probably would be mindful of the intensity of that and how it
Bulletproofing
affects your
them.
plants.
Yeah, totally. You guys have, I'm sure, seen OSO, and those doors are rarely closed.
Yeah.
So the idea is the inside, outside. But yes, I will take that note, and we'll look at the plants in there and make sure that they will survive.
Commissioners, are there any other questions?
Yeah, I got one for you, Rob. It is a beautiful building, and I think that it's really exciting to have some entertainment in the district. I think we've been really needing it for a long time, and it's kind of cool to, to have a, miniature, bowling alley mixed concept with arcade and, obviously with the food. I was just kind of more curious of, as far as functionality goes, I know there's the main entrance right there on the corner, next to the totem pole cactus, and then there's the one off the back, on the east side in between the yard that Commissioner Baugh was speaking of. And then there's that other entrance and exit that's on Gilbert Road. Is that one going to be open to the public, or is that more of just an emergency exit?
That is an exit only.
Okay.
Yeah, we have it as an exit only. It's a common path of travel issue that we're having, so we have it with no hardware on the outside and exit only.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I think we do have glass to get some light in there and to make sure that nothing ever blocks it. But yeah, exit only.
And then as far as just overall functionality, because you do have a lot going on in here, is there going to be a hostess and just, scheduling for bowling and,
Yes.
all that stuff?
Yes.
Are people going to be entering through OSO, passing through where everyone's dining, going to the front and seeing a hostess there? Like, kind of
Yes.
what's the flow of that? Because then
Yeah,
the
so-
kitchen's kind of passing through the arcade area.
So as you come in the entry, the main entry on the northwest side, there's a kind of column right when you come in, and there's going to be a hostess stand right over there, and they will hook you up with a table and reserve a lane. So it's right there, and then in the back, right when you come down the ramp. There is another little hostess stand in between the 2 ramps there with a point of sale. And if people come in there, they'll be directed to the front to get their seating.
Okay, perfect. And then is the idea that you can eat while you order food while you're bowling, or you can be in the yard and be waiting to be bowling and use the arcade and at OSO? Like, are they? I know they're all separate concepts, but they're all kind of intertwined. Is that correct?
Yes, is
Okay.
the answer. We want everybody to do everything. One of the bigger problems we see in downtown Gilbert is if you try to get a restaurant, a table at a restaurant, it could be a 45-minute wait. And so we have the park where you can come hang out in. We have OSO, and now we have this, and it's open to everybody at all times.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
exciting. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Any additional questions? Staff, are there members of the public in attendance who wish to speak on item DR 24-02?
Mr. Chairman, I have no requests to speak from the members of the public.
Perfect. Are there any additional questions for town staff? Hearing none, I will now close the public hearing on item DR 24-02, bowling restaurant concept, and we'll look for the commission for discussion. Who would like to share their thoughts first?
I think you know my thoughts already. I'm ready to make a motion.
I agree.
Same.
Commissioner Clausen, do you have any questions or thoughts?
Nope.
Perfect. At this time, I'll look for the commissioners to make a motion.
I move to approve case number DR 24-02.
I have a motion to approve item DR 24-02. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second to approve item DR 24-02. Please vote.
Commissioner Clausen, if you could share your vote, please.
I motion to approve DR 24-02.
And the item passes. DR 2402 passes. We'll now move into communications. Thank you, Kristen. Councilmember Torgerson, do you have anything you'd like to report on current or future events?
Apparently I do, thanks to Mr. Henderson. So let's get started. Thank you, Chair Kendall. If you haven't taken your banana Instagramma, there's still time. Visitors to Gilbert's Heritage District can enjoy the newest public art installation, Slip into Spring. This pop-up experience is set up on Hearn Way east of Gilbert Road, featuring a banana-themed rest stop. The larger-than-life modular banana is 8 feet tall by 13 feet wide and will be on display until May 2nd. Last week, 2 new public art pieces were unveiled in the Heritage District. The artworks are part of an ongoing effort to enhance and beautify downtown Gilbert's corridors and pathways where there is a heavy pedestrian traffic and visitation. The first installation is located at the Ash Street parking garage, 72 West Vaughn Avenue, and features a vinyl wrap on the north door facing the Western Power Line Trail. The 84-inch tall art piece, entitled Gilbert Deconstructed, is from nationally recognized artist Liz Taylor. A different Liz Taylor than when I grew up. The second installation is located at the Hearn Way parking garage, also on the north door facing the Western Power Line Trail. Title illuminating the past of our Native American first settlers. This vinyl wrap was created by artist Rosa Cruz and is sized at 94 inches in height. Finally, I wanted to share that the council study session was held yesterday in relation to determining where Northwest Gilbert revitalization efforts will be focused. If members of the public were unable to attend, the recording is available at gilbertaz.gov/NWGilbert. In addition, a feedback form has also been added to the page, and members of the public are welcome to share any feedback they have post-study session. And that is all.
Can you repeat the very first sentence? I just want to hear you talk about the banana Instagram one more time.
You know, a girl I grew up with, her son is on the Savannah Bananas. I unfortunately wasn't able to get that to happen, so banana.
This is a public hearing, gentlemen. Commissioners, do you have any updates? Perfect. I do have one update. I have partnered with HD South and Director of HD South, Denise Lopez, to help save the Clare Building, also known as Bergey's. This commission approved the Bottle Blonde in February, and construction will start on that soon. Essentially, our plan is to move the Clare House, which is a just under 900 square foot building that was built in 1918 and physically pick that building up and move it in front of HD South to create a permanent exhibit and museum destination. So at this point, everybody can donate at hdsouth.org. It's a tax-deductible donation. We are in the process of raising $135,000 for that, and we're at $15,000. So we've got a lot to go, but I think that we can get there and create more additional public awareness. And I believe that it is set to be demolished on May 15th, so we don't have a whole bunch of time. If anybody has any questions, you can reach out to myself or Denise Lopez at HD South.
Mr. Chairman, you mentioned that they can go online and provide their donations to HD South. Do they have to earmark it or notify that it's part of the Claire House?
Great question. Thank you for clarifying. No. In fact, when you go on to hdsouth.org, it is the first thing that you'll see, and you're able to just do the donation straight away. There's a goal there, as well as a tally with how much has been raised. Thank you. Amanda, do you have anything to report?
Mr. Chairman, I have no items to report tonight. Just thank you all for your service.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. It is now 6:36. I will now adjourn the Redevelopment Commission meeting.
So Adam, it's true that you're matching everybody dollar for dollar on that, right?
I was one of the first commitments to donate.
Yes, you were.
You talked to Kevin with Gilbert now?
I did.
Dan, I am your father.
He supposedly, we
Totally what? What's the plan? Is it just gonna put it down in front, or is it gonna have like
no, we're gonna
plumbing, electrical?